And we're going to do the power loop lesson just a little bit differently. I worked as a flight instructor for several years, and I always enjoyed sharing the experience of flight with students. So I thought that for today on our power loop lesson, that I would bring in an actual student and we're going to teach him how to do power loops. So come on over here, Kevin. I'm Kevin.
I'm Kevin.
This is also Kevin Hall. He's going to be our student today, and we are, have you done a power loop before?
I've tried a few.
We're going to teach you how to do it in closer proximity to objects. One of the things we're going to be talking today about is the basic flight characteristics of mini quads. What you have is you have a thrust vector, which is the amount of thrust that all four motors are putting out at any given time. And you can think of that like a vector. It's always going to be pointing up away from the motors. We get to control how powerful it is. One of the important aspects when you're doing a power loop is the difference in angle between your board cam angle and your thrust vector. So it's something to always keep in mind. When I am looking straight forward, we have a component of this thrust vector that is pulling us forward in flight, and we have a component that is giving us lift, counteracting gravity to keep us in the air. And ideally, in straight and forward level flight, you're going to have an equal amount of vertical thrust to gravity so that you stay level. But we're going to be changing the direction that gravity is affecting you. So on the climb, we're going to be making a nice semicircle coming up, and gravity is going to be pulling you back down. As we come across, you're making a nice semicircle at the top, and gravity is now this way, and the same on the back. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to start off with just the first aspect of it. We're not even going to put an obstacle for you to go over. And the easiest way to do this is to have some visual reference. So what we're going to use is we're going to use this big tower here. And we're not going to worry about the top. You can level it out as quick as you're comfortable with, because the nice thing about doing it this way is you can see right here how tall that tower is. So if you keep the tower in your frame of reference as you're coming up, you know that when you go to nothing but sky in your camera, that you're that high and you have that much time. So as you notice, when this board cam is aligned with that vertical, our thrust vector is pulling off this way. So it's doing two things. It's giving us the lift to climb the wall, and it's also pulling us back off the wall. So it's going to be arresting your forward motion, giving you the climb, and starting to pull you back into the loop. Basically, I'm just getting lined up with the tower, and then I go and give it kind of a constant down on the pitch. Kind of pick a spot where I'm getting a good amount of rotation, and just hold it there so that we have a nice even all the way through the backflip. I kind of adjust exactly how much throttle I give it to get to the top of the building and come back off of it. Now, as you notice, most of these I'm not even going full throttle. It's not the type of maneuver that requires full throttle. If you do it in an open field with full throttle, which I'm sure a lot of you have tried, you end up really, really high.
Or really far back.
Or really, really far back. One thing that you'll notice is if I give it a little punch at the very top, that's gonna be right where you have more of that thrust vector like we were talking about, pointing backwards. And so if I was trying to really clear something far back, I give it a punch of full throttle right there at the very apex. And now you see it just go sailing across the field.
And I noticed you kept pitch pretty much steady through the whole loop.
That's the goal, is just to kind of get a nice smooth, where it's going to take a few seconds to do the whole backflip, and then just hold it there. And when the top of the tower goes out of view, you can just reduce to idle throttle and let it keep going slowly through the backflip. Just like this.
Try to be really smooth on the sticks, like
So,
smooth in.
That is perfect. You see how you got, whoa, whoa, whoa. Uh-oh.
Damn!
Oh no. I have another arm and I didn't bring it.
What? Okay, okay, but you were getting the...
yeah, it felt good.
Yeah, it wasn't even, that was the disappointing thing. It wasn't even on the actual power loop where we messed up. We just had a little...
Trying not to hit the building the second time around.
You were actually quite successful. You were climbing the building. You were essentially doing a power loop in the field. When you were going to avoid the building and some of the trees, you got a little turned around, and we had an accident. Started running through our options, and Tommy was kind enough to offer up the butter quad. He's been flying around the field, getting a good feel for it. I think you're pretty comfortable with it at this point.
Give it a go.
Would you say?
Yeah.
So,
he's got my quad. I am a little nervous, but I did see how he was improving and stuff, and I feel pretty confident that he's got this. So he is flying my butter quad.
Do I need more throttle coming off the top of the wall? Because when I came around the time and panicked, it looked like I was right up against the tower, and that's when I just pulled it back.
The best way to get further off the wall is as you're getting to the apex, you're going to be at your best position to give it power to come off the wall. So when you're riding the wall up at 50 to 75% power, right as you cross that apex, just give it a little blip of full throttle, and then go before you go to
Not
idle.
full. You can just like
yeah, just
blip
give it a little blip and come back. All right, everything's looking good. Perfect. You are like tons of room. How did that feel?
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Still nervous not being able to see anything.
You don't have to hold throttle as long.
Yeah, you can.
You need to huck the quad.
Yeah, as you see the top of the tower go out of your frame of view, blip the throttle and go to idle and keep your right stick at the same point.
So as soon as I see the top.
As soon as the top is coming out of the camera view. Oh my God, that was perfect.
I think you got a balance lead. Come in kind of slow.
Nice
That was
job.
really
The
good.
last one was
good.
perfect, wasn't
Yeah.
Butter quad survived.
Woohoo! Of course it did.
All right, let's go to Duga now. I'm ready.
it? All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're moving it over to the other side of the building that has some trees. So we're gonna go underneath the trees, climb the tower. We're essentially doing the same thing, but we're making sure that we come far enough off the tower that we clear the trees, and then we're gonna control the descent and back in. And so one of the things that I'm also going to be doing on this is I'm going to play around with the throttle. If I'm going to go way too far than I want to, I might give it a little bit of throttle on the descent, which will stop the backwards motion. But for the most part, I'm just going to be focused on making sure that I get all the way across the trees. The downside of this situation is there is a bench right underneath the tree. So you have to go under the tree and not hit the bench.
Anything else we want to throw in there?
Here we go again. I'm going to give it a little bit better blip at the top end. And I got plenty of distance. And it's just catching it and back under. Blip. Come back. Descend and catch it and back under. All right, so this time I'm going to just demonstrate something that's a little bit more advanced. I'm going to give it enough throttle so that it's coming, it's going to come far off of the building. But then I'm going to look down at the tree and I'm going to give it throttle to keep it from going really far past the tree, okay? Gotcha. This isn't something you have to try, it's just something I kind of want to demonstrate here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to try that.
Yeah. So I'm going to do one more thing with the power loop while I've got the battery for it. Now we've been showing what it's like to use a frame of reference that you're running into. I'm going to show one power loop here where I'm going to do it and keep the frame of reference as the tree itself in the top of the frame.
Okay.
Okay. You see how you can see the tree all the way through
you basically went right around it with the camera.
Yep. You're doing the exact same thing, but you're using the top of the frame as the reference instead of the tree itself. That's a couple little things for the advanced lesson that I want to talk about at the end. It's not necessarily things that you got to recreate. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool.
Here we go.
Ooh. Oh. Yeah, that was good.
Dude, nice.
That was a good save. That was a very good save.
The one thing I'm going to say is you're a little bit off axis.
Way off, yeah.
It's not a huge deal. Just give yourself plenty of time to get it nice and lined up. Like right here. Oh, that's nice. That's perfect right there.
And go high. Go high, 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 higher, higher. Pull out. There you go.
What's happening here? Let's come in and land for a second. You feel like the tower is really close to those trees.
Uh-huh.
Take a look at how much room you have right there. There's almost a tree and a half between the trees and the tower.
Right.
And so you're getting nervous that you're getting close to the tower when you've still got tons of room. And so you're giving it throttle early and you're ending up losing the visual reference to the tower.
Killing it early.
And carrying power too late. And then you're powering into the ground. So what's going to make it easier again is if you just get comfortable with the space that you have between the tower and the trees. You got a lot of space there to work with. If you can pull it closer into the tower, you're going to be doing exactly like you were doing before, and it's going to get easy again.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Don't worry about that.
Look at that.
That's it. Perfect.
Perfect.
Holy crap.
If you don't have to, go under. Just disarm. Good, dude. That was perfect. That was awesome.
You're okay. Everything is okay. Just props.
Try to go under the tree.
He kind of, it wasn't perfectly lined up, and you kind of wanted to force it, which it's okay. I mean, I've been there before and tried to force it.
Coming around, I tried to go under the tree. I should have just bailed.
Yeah.
And it was too high.
Yeah, but that's okay. Next time you can bail. But you did everything that I said. You came in closer to the tower, and it got easy again, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Cool.
The loop looked perfect line of sight.
The loop was perfect. Nice, let go.
Perfect.
Easy, let it down, easy.
Catch it.
To the right, there you go. That's it. That is it.
You got it.
Children all over the place.
We got trains, children.
That's got it.
All right.
Little lower, little lower. There you go.
You got it. Dang.
Dude, that was sick. That was sick.
The best advice that Kevin gave was to drop throttle when the top of the tower went out of the frame of view. So the first few that I attempted that I was too far away, I'd forgotten to do that. When he had me come back in, land, reminded me about the timing, and then tried it the next time, and then as soon as the top of the tower disappeared, kill throttle, and that made the timing for the rest of the loop perfect.
And that's when it just clicked
that's
for
when
you.
it clicked.
Awesome. Look at that master instructor there. Get ready for like 5 zillion emails, Kevin.
Damn that model under the tree. This is a senior photo I'm taking right here. Don't move, Johnny. Don't move. Okay, we're good.